Good evening. I'm Diana, and this is Delicious Dishes by Diana. And it's, late. It's 11 o'clock. Actually, it's 11:30 at night in Wichita Falls. Happy New Year, 2024. Oh, I can't believe. Anyway, I've got a batch of yogurt started in my kitchen, and it's going to take 24 hours to make the yogurt. It's a lengthy process. Now, I'm not going to be doing this for 24 hours. Actually, I've got it started tonight, and then in the morning at 8 o'clock, I'll do the second part of the process. So I've got it started tonight, and it's already started its cooking. I did the video as soon as I got home from Bible study tonight. I went ahead and got the yogurt started. So I kind of put the cart before the horse in the video. But let me just mention that in the video that I was making, I forgot to mention why I was using non-metallic utensils, because my insert in my InstantPot is metal and I just don't want it to scratch. So that's the reason why I keep saying non-metallic. It's nothing special, it has nothing to do with the yogurt. Just I like my equipment to last a long time. Anyway, 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to do the second part of this process. So let me show you the first part, and then we'll get started on this. Have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. So I've got the InstantPot on. I've got the yogurt selection. I set it to boil. It's going to heat it up to about a 180. I'm going to bring the temperature down to about 110. And then I'm going to add my yogurt culture. This is what I'm going to add to it. It's plain, no sugar added. And I'm just going to add one of these, and it is 5.3 ounces. It says non-fat, milk fat, zero fat, but I'm using whole milk, full fat. Okay, I forgot to show you that the temperature gauge was reading 180, and I've removed it from the InstantPot, and it's reading 140 now, and I want it to come down to 110. So I have it in a cold ice bath. There's ice in here all around the InstantPot metal insert, and I'm just circulating the cold air around the outside of this to bring the temperature down. I have a non-metallic spoon in here, and I'm just giving it a good stir to circulate the air around so that I can bring the temperature down to 110. So I'm using my wooden spoon here to circulate the water, and the ice is just about melted. But you have to be really careful not to get any water into the yogurt. Okay, it's down 109, 108, 109. It just dropped from 110. So the next step is to add the yogurt culture. Okay, here's the live yogurt cultures. If you have already got some yogurt made, you can use it, but I didn't have any, so I just went and got a small container of yogurt. It's just active cultures. I'm going to add this culture. Get all this out of here. Now, I'm going to add to this a little bit of my milk that I've already heated and cooled. This is similar to what you do when you temper eggs. I'm just going to use the container that the yogurt came in. I'm going to add this to this. I'm going to stir it, this to this. That's very technical. The store-bought yogurt live active cultures, I'm going to add it to my heated and cooled and then cooled milk. I'm just breaking it up and slowly introducing it to the milk, making sure there's no lumps. There's still a little lumps in there, so I'm going to keep stirring it till all the lumps are gone. Now, something else I want to show you is that I have two separate gaskets. I have this red gasket which is a backup gasket. Then I always have the original gasket that goes in the lid of my InstantPot. I use the red gasket because it has no odor to it after I've been used for cooking stews and roast and beans. It doesn't. These little gaskets absorb the smell. So this one here is the one that I use on a regular basis. I reserve this one for cheesecakes and yogurt so that it doesn't pick up the odor of the meat. I don't want my yogurt smelling like a pot roast. Okay, now I'm going to take the insert and put it back in here after I dried it off, after it comes out of the water bath. I dry it off. Look, it's telling me that there's something in there. Now, I'm going to introduce the live cultures to the yogurt. I'm going to give it a good stir. Make sure it's in there good. Clean that out. Get as much of the yogurt out as possible. Alright, good stuff. Okay, that's done. I'm going to turn this to yogurt, not to boil, not to 24 hours, but to 10 hours. Then I'm going to set the lid just on top. I'm not going to seal it. I'm just going to sit it on top. And now it's going to count up to 10 hours. So in the morning, it'll be yogurt. Then I'll have to strain the whey off of it, and I'll show you that process. Okay, I forgot to show you this. I don't want the moisture buildup to drip into the yogurt, so I just set a lid to collect the moisture. All right, the second part to homemade yogurt. And my InstantPot has completely finished. So let me show you this process. Okay, so I have some cheesecloth, which is actually a little bit, it's just a linen towel. It's not actually cheesecloth. I also have a strainer. And then I have a big bowl that I set my strainer in. We're going to pour the yogurt that cooked last night into this. All right, what we're doing is we're separating the fat from the whey, the solids from the liquid in the milk to make it a drier yogurt. Let me show you what the yogurt looks like when it's cooked. Look, see how thick it is? But you can also see that there's some liquid. See this liquid right here? We're going to strain that off. That's why we're putting it in a bowl and through a strainer, through a cheesecloth, because these little particles would go right through the holes in the strainer. So that's why I put the cheesecloth in there. Okay, this is the gloopy part. To be really careful and aim well. See all that moisture? Now this is stuff that's stuck to the bottom. I'm not going to scrape that off. I'm going to discard that. Now see all the liquid? This is going to drain off, this liquid right over here. Have you ever had sour cream and open it up and it has that liquid on the top? You just stir it and it mixes back in. Well, this is a little too thin for me. I want to drain a lot of that off so that my yogurt will be thicker. Now I also have a lid that fits over this, and I'm going to put this in the refrigerator while it drains. I will have to take, and I'm going to fold over, first of all, I'm going to fold over my linen towel. And that's going to protect it. But you can see there's a lot of liquid there. I'll show you already. Look how much liquid's in the bottom of the bowl. That's going to drain off. We're going to have to take, and we're going to have to empty that out occasionally over the next 2 hours. I'm going to set that lid on there so that it'll protect the protect it in the refrigerator. Okay, there it is in the refrigerator. Now in about an hour, 2 hours, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to drain off the liquid that has drained from it. Okay, I just want you to see that the bottom of my pan is nice and clean, but that was left in the bottom, that residual, this is what it was. That was what I collected. It's got some brown places where the fats scorched a little bit on the bottom of they browned. It didn't really scorch. It just stuck to the bottom of the pan. Well, this is also kind of lumpy like cottage cheese, and I just don't want that in my yogurt, so I strain that out. That's why I don't scrape the bottom of the bowl when I pour the yogurt into the strainer. All right, let me show you. This has only been in the refrigerator for 30 minutes. Let me show you what it looks like in here. I'm going to turn my camera so you can see it a little more. I'm going to lift it up, and I want you to see all the liquid that is already drained and strained. Now, some people save this and they use it for breads and whatever else. I do not save it. I pour it out. I give my bowl a little rinse. And then I put the yogurt with the cheesecloth and the strainer back in the bowl and set it back in the refrigerator to continue to drain off that liquid. Okie dokie. Now it's been about an hour. And look, there's more of the golden yellow whey, the water that separated from the fat solids collected in the bottom of this bowl. It's been straining off of the yogurt. I'm going to put this back in here. And look, it's already sunk down considerably. See how far down it's gone? Let me show you also. I'll grab a spoon. Now there's still quite a bit of moisture and liquid on here. Let me show you with a spoon how much thicker it is already, the yogurt. That's pretty good. Give it a little stir. All right. I'm going to cover this back up. It's just full of liquid. I'll strain a little bit of that off. Squeeze it out. Where it's collected here on the top. There we go. It smells like butter and yogurt. All right, I'm going to tuck it back in and put it back in the refrigerator. All right, I have my yogurt containers ready to go so that when my yogurt is ready to transfer, I will have my jars ready to dip out the individual servings. Let me show you my jars. I have several choices here. I have a plastic one that's good for on the go, non-breakable, has a silicone lid on top. These are great for grabbing and going in the car. These I just put in the refrigerator and they're for my breakfast in the mornings. They're perfect little size, and as you can see, they're the same size as the containers that you get in the grocery store. And they have these sealable lids on them. And then I also, for extra, if I have more than will go into these, I just put it in a mason jar like this, or you can, if you don't have these small things, you can put it in a larger mason jar, something that you can dip out of every morning. But I like just grabbing and having the yogurt just like I would if I were buying the yogurt containers from the grocery store. These are my favorite. These are my favorite jars. Those are just in the morning. And you can put your own fruit in the bottom of these and have fruit in the bottom. Yogurt. I like blueberry and honey and cinnamon in my yogurt. There you go. So get you some of those jars. Get you some mason jars. Get you a bowl. Whatever. It's easy. Okay, now this is going to be the last leg of the process in making homemade yogurt. it's time to take the yogurt out of the refrigerator and start scooping it into my containers. I'll show you how that's done. Okay, here's the last little bit of whey that had drained off the yogurt. And here's the yogurt, and look how much smaller it is. Look how it's really shrunk down, because before it was way up here at the top, almost overflowing, and now with all the extra whey out of it, and it has really shrunk down, and it's going to be nice and thick and creamy. Alrighty, I'm going to take cheesecloth, pick it up like a stork holding a baby in the old cartoons. All right, here is my yogurt. Oh, beautiful. I'm going to take this and just stir it up a little bit and show you it's nice and creamy. It's not as smooth as what you get when you're at the grocery store, and you can take and whip this in a mixer. All right, so this one here is my to-go, and I'm going to make this one ready to take and eat. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon of honey. Actually, it just kind of coats the bottom, so about a teaspoon and a half of honey in the bottom. Now I have my natural blueberries, and I get a 4-pound bag of this at Sam's. I'm going to take my scoop. This is a number 40. I'm going to get 1 scoop of blueberries, and they're frozen. I might put a couple of extra in there because I like blueberries. I'll do 2 scoops of blueberries. Then I'm going to do a scoop of yogurt. I'm going to put 2 scoops of yogurt in there. And that is I might put a little sprinkle of cinnamon on top. There we go. I have a lid. And this one is my take and eat yogurt. Okay, now I'm going to fill up the ones that I'm not going to have prepared to take with me, so I can add other fruit. And whatever else I want to add to it. If I want a different fruit, I'm going to add some nuts. I want to add strawberries or peaches, whatever frozen fruit that I have. And I'm using 2 level scoops per container, which is 1.5 tablespoons. So it's about 3 tablespoons per container. Really, that's really all I want. But, okay, I'll put 1 more in there. Why not? Just a little bit more. And this scoop works perfectly. I'll clean up the edges before I put the lids on it. All right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here are 6 lids. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, there's 6. Here are 3 more. The lids on those. There's 7, 8, 9, Now this is where I use my leftover jars. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just fill up my big jar here, my big mason jar. It shows that it is 3 cups, 24 ounces. I'll just fill that up with the leftover yogurt. Let me back up a little bit. There we go. Put it in mason jar. I love this little handy mason jar funnel. Keeps me from making a monstrous mess of it. Well, even with my best efforts, I'm still kind of messy. All right, there we go. I'll clean that up. So I'll clean the rest of that up. Get that out of there. All right. Now, the edge of my jar. I'll just eat that. Oh my, that is good. So, looks like it did about a cup and a half of extra yogurt that didn't go into a. So this one I could kind of use for something else, or I can put it in cake next, or I can add it to anything I want to. I can make chicken salad with it. There's all kinds of things you can make it with, or I can just use it to refill my containers. Okay, I've got about $20 worth of yogurt that is free of added sugar, free of added preservatives. It's a whole milk yogurt. I've never made skim milk yogurt, but I've heard you could. I've never made another milk alternative, a nut type milk. So this is really good, and I'm going to enjoy it. And you can try this process yourself if you're willing to dive in and work a little bit for it. To me, it's worth it. It's delicious. I know you'll enjoy it. Thank you for joining me while I made my homemade yogurt. I hope you'll give this a try. Happy New Year. Shine for Jesus in all you do, because He is the reason that we have eternal life. I hope you'll join me there too. Bye.